Hi, Rich Spezzano here from Digitally Fearless. And today I thought I'd have a little fun and we'd update Rosie the Riveter to a more modern time. For example, I thought we'd give her a hard hat instead of a kerchief on her head. And I thought we'd throw in some tattoos because in those days there was no such thing as a woman having a tattoo. So let's get started. So I have the links to all the photos I'm going to use in the description below, but it's very simple. All I'm going to actually be using is this right here. This is a vector image. And what else am I using? I'm taking this one. So I'm grabbing the hard hat, and then I'll put some text on her arm also as part of the tattoo. So let's start with the hard hat. We'll take that, and we need to grab the hard hat itself. And you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to ungroup these actually. Let me just ungroup all of these because I just had them in a group just to see what was where. And I'm going to put the hard hat in front of Rosie the Riveter. We'll hide this for now. And I'm going to turn the opacity down just a bit so we can see them both. And let's take the hard hat. We really want to see if we can size them as close as we can, and then it'll help us later on. So I'm kind of trying to see where he's not facing the same way, but you can get an idea, of how it should be. And let's see, maybe if we had his nose there. Oops, undo, sorry. And we want to get notice her hair, her kerchief, a lot of it covered if we can. And I'm thinking that this looks pretty good. Let's see where it is on her forehead. And I'm going to go with that. And now I can bring the opacity back up. So now I'll take the selection paint tool here. And I'll make sure I have the hard hat selected, the hard hat photo. And I'm going to just go over there. But I'm just going to do just a rough selection. Let me get a close-up here. And let's do some of that. I want almost to that edge. We want that edge of the gray. I'm using my right arrow. I'm sorry, my right bracket. And that's showing me my brush size now. And if I got too much, like right here, I can do my option and click. And let's get some of that. And this is a pretty easy selection because there's enough contrast behind it. And I think I'm okay with that. I don't mind a little bit of the hair here. We can work with that later. So now we hit refine. I'm fine with that. And I'm going to do selection, mask, and then say apply. So let's see where we're at now. I think that looks okay. We may have to do slight adjustments, and it's so big and it's hard to do adjustments. So it's close enough for me, so I am going to rasterize and trim it. Once you do that, you have to worry about pixelation, but as long as I'm not going to change the size much, I'm going to do rasterize and trim. And now it's just down to the hat itself, and it's a pixel layer. So I can adjust this if I need to. If I want, I can even warp it, but I don't even think I need to warp it at this point. I think this is really pretty close to what I need right now. So let's just leave that at that. And if I need to warp it later, I'll warp it, but I don't think I will. Let's go to the background layer, and I think I'll add a pixel layer above it, and then I will go to my clone stamp brush and make sure I see current layer and below. And what I'll start doing is I'll click option. Let's make a bigger brush. I'll click the option key to select a spot. I want this yellow. I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to paint. And really I'm painting on an extra layer, so I'm not really hurting the original, just in case. Let me try that again. click here, get some of this out of there. I'm just going to keep clicking and finding some other areas. And how about up here? We'll click up here, and then we'll get rid of some of that. Oops. Click here, get rid of some of that. So we don't want any of the kerchief showing. And on my old-fashioned, I don't know if it's called a kerchief anymore. Sorry. Whatever you call, whatever you put on the head. We don't want any of that showing. How's that? And then over here, I will have to fix later on. I'm going to move here. I will have to probably add to that E later on, but for now, let's just do, click here, get rid of some of this. I'm option clicking just to select the blues next to it. And actually I can go down because remember, this is behind the hard hat. So I can go like way down here if I need to. And once again, I'm not really worried about the E itself. I can fix the E later. I just didn't want any of the kerchief there. So let's say that's pretty good. And same here. I could mask this out. Maybe I'll do that just to be, not mask it, protect it. So let's just take the pen tool, go like that. And I'm just going to come up like this because the outside doesn't matter so much. And I am going to make a selection out of that and go to a new layer. And once again, I'm going to do the clone stamp right here. And then I can clone without worrying about going outside that selection so it's not hurting the actual face or anything. So I can go here, do the same here. And I'm just pulling, maybe I should pull some from down here. Let's pull from down here. And I'd say that's pretty good. So let's get a close, let's pull out and see the whole thing. Oh, we got the bottom here. I forgot about this. So let's get closer to that. And we'll go back to this yellow pixel layer here. Clone stamp. And I'm just going to do this one by hand. I could do the other, but no, that's good. I just want to get rid of some of that kerchief. The hair can stay. All right, I like that. That looks pretty good. So now, let's see what else. I'm not sure if her ear should be in or out because I don't know that much about hard hats. Let me just turn the hard hat off. Maybe I'll just cut a little of this out right here and make sure this goes behind her head. So let me put a mask on the hard hat. Select the mask. And with my paintbrush, I'm going to hit D to make it black and white. And with my paintbrush right now, in black color, I'm going to kind of follow where her kerchief would have been. Now with white color, I got to bring back this to cover the kerchief. So that kind of brings it, her ear, right around behind her ear. And I think that's good. And I could finish this E. So to finish the E off, we'll just, let's see, above the background, we'll create a new layer. No, let's do it higher up here. A new layer. And I'm just going to use my pen tool to make a curve like that and that, and say in here, and turn that into a selection. And I guess we could still use the clone stamp again. Let's try it. You know, if you just lift up and with the mouse, then you can, if you continued on, it would show what was behind it before, and I don't want to do that. But if you lift up with the mouse and then start again and do another click, it takes it all clear. So let's okay, so that's that part. Now let's get to the tattoo part. That's the more fun stuff. And that's a weird E, but that's the shape that it was in before, so I'm going to leave it. So let's now pull in, let's bring this to the front. Oh, try to bring it up. And this was a vector image, a PNG, and I have the link below. And I would like to turn this maybe coming out of her sleeve like it was on her arm, a little bit smaller, something to this effect. Let's make the point go that way a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to shrink it just a touch. And now what I'll do, you know what, before I do any kind of warping, I'm going to change the color because tattoos aren't pure black, first of all. So we're going to go to effects on that layer and color overlay. And on that color, I think I'm going to pick, first I'll try for a little one of these blues. Did I get that? I'm not sure. Hold on. Like one of these blues and go there. But that's, I think that's a little bit, I want more in the purple family and kind of darker, maybe this way. A little blue, maybe more. Let's see. Because I thought in those days the ink was a little bit more in the blue family, so I'll go with that. And they could never, a woman would never have a tattoo in those days. So I thought it would be interesting to put a tattoo on her. And now let's do the mesh warp tool. And the mesh warp tool, I would like to make it into the shape of her, where it would be, where her arm would end up. So this would still come out kind of on a curve. I'm just grabbing handles, and I could split the mesh, but I think I don't need to split it in this case. I think this one should come this way and then a little bit back also. I want to kind of get the feel of the roundness of the arm, and I feel like this point should be up a little bit more. So I'm not really sure yet. And all you do is you play. You can play with the handles, or you can play with the actual, you can move the actual line itself. In this case, I do some handles, some line. It's just get a feel and get a feel for the shape of the arm. And remember, it's rounded, so that's really important right here. That it shows because the muscle would have been higher up. And I think that's pretty good, and I'm going to apply that. And now oh, one more thing. I don't want the color to be a solid color. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go to noise, and I'm going to bring up the noise all the way. I'm going to get a close-up just so you can see. Because without the noise, it's too solid. You want to see noise because it looks like pores are coming through. And I tried different modes, but I think I still like normal. I could lower the opacity slightly to make it look a little worn out, and I'm okay with that too. And now I'm going to add a mask right down here under the layers, a mask layer, and I'm going to select that mask, and with my paintbrush, a soft round paintbrush, I am going to paint in black on the mask because it's got to be under her fingers here. And if I make a mistake, I could paint white on the mask. We want it to show that it's going under, and we don't want it's going under the sleeve. So we don't want any of the sleeve showing, any of the ink on the sleeve. And same here. I'm going slowly here, and I'm getting rid of anything that would have been on top. So let's see how that looks. And I think that looks fairly realistic. Maybe maybe just the opacity a little bit lower like that. I like that. So instead of we can do it, maybe now let's do another one. Let's take some text, and I don't want that ugly green, so maybe we will make the text just for now. Actually, we're not going to use the solid text anyway. It really shouldn't matter. Maybe I'll just make it black. Hold on a second. I like to use the color wheel, and just let's go black for now. And instead of we can do it, I'm going to type woman can do it. You can choose whatever font you want. I just chose some rounded edge font. And let's go, let's decide we're going to put this on her arm. And let's see. And we will have to warp it. We'll have to do everything later. But I'm just trying to get the size that I kind of want it to be. And I think let's go about there. And I don't think I really want a fill in it. So what I'll do is let's go to the characters. Let me open the character. If you don't see characters, it's View, Studio, Character. And let's do this slider. I hate the way these are. I wish it would just stay larger to the right size. And what I'll do instead is I'm going to give it an outline. And I'm going to get rid of the fill. Here, oh, no fill, there you go. So that's not the color we want, obviously, and that's not even the thickness I want. But the first thing I'll do is I want to get this color. So let's stay with that kind of a color. So let's go to the outline color and choose one of these colors and say OK. And on that also, if you hold down, it'll say instead of opacity, click again, it's noise. I'm going to add noise again, just like I did before. And I think it's still maybe too thick. I'm not really sure yet. Let's kind of do that. And let's see how that looks. And when we pull back. Okay. And now, of course, we want to warp it to make it work with it. So, and I'll turn down the opacity later also, but let's warp it first. So here we go. We're going to go warping this. And let's see, obviously this part of the arm has to be bigger right here. And we'll go like that. And this side's going to kind of come in. And I'm just playing to try and get a feel of where it would be. And I think, you know what, it's not so bad. Hold on. It has to come up this way because it's rounded here. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit, or maybe even this side, and pull this side out a little bit like that. And I think a little too much on this side. And this kind of should go around too. Maybe up and then down. Like that. And we'll pull this out a little bit. No, I don't like that. And pull this back. And then pull this back. Whoops. Undo that. And this. So basically you're playing until you get a feel. You have to decide where you think it should be. And I'm thinking that that's okay. I think a little more on the back end here. No, let's do this. Instead of that end, let's pull this in a little more this way. There we go. I like that. And we hit apply. And that's kind of what I want. And now a little bit less opacity maybe, just to make it feel a little worn, like that. And let's take a look. And there we go. So we have Rosie the Riveter. I gave her a hard hat. We have Women Can Do It. She has a jet fighter, because that's what she was putting rivets on. Not that particular one, of course, but I thought it would just be kind kind of fun to modernize her a little and just show you some different kind of techniques. Now I could have changed her outfit, changed the background, but I just kind of like it this way. So I don't mind the outfit the way it is. Maybe I'm going to try one other thing, and I don't think it's going to work. But let's try, and I might even take this out of here. Let's try color overlay, and maybe her hard hat should have been more in the red. I don't think I like that at all. Let's see. Oh, I don't mind the orange here like that. So just breaks it up from the yellow a little bit. Let me just see some more. Ooh, I like that a lot. Okay, let's do the linear burn or color burn. Let's do color burn and knock the opacity down just a bit. And let's keep it red because that's what her hard hat was. I mean, that's what her kerchief was. So that's it. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, please click like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye. I hope you found these videos useful. If you did, please click like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support me, you can buy me a cup of coffee at buymeacupofcoffee.com/DF. And I hope you'll check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.